G'day, we're going to do our annual inspection of our enhanced helicopter helmet. For this, we're going to need a few things. Start with the helmet itself, the comm system, your eye protection, some emery paper or Scotch-Brite, pen, Clean-On wipe, and a terry wipe. Essentially, there's three components to the enhanced helicopter helmet. It's a 1.3 kilo system in the current setup. The three components are the helmet itself, including the visor and vent covers and other parts to the Wendy helmet itself. The comm system and all the various components of that, being the ear cups and the microphone. The adapter lead we'll leave separate for today. And then the accessories, and that'll be the torch, if you've got one, like this, the Princeton Tech torch, and the iPro. So now that you've got all your parts, we're going to go through visual inspection. So we're going to take the helmet itself. I'm going to inspect the polycarbonate shell. It's a multi small impact toughened plastic shell, and we're doing a visual inspection. I tend to just start at one point, working my way around the helmet itself, looking for any nicks, gouges, anything to indicate that it's had some significant impact or knock, because any gouges in this part of the shell are going to render the helmet unusable. So once we've had a good visual inspection of the helmet shell itself, coming all the way around, tracking the outer lines, and the integrity of the helmet itself, just like you do in your inspection of your roping helmet before you donned it. Okay, so once we've gone through the visual inspection of the polycarbonate copolymer outer shell, next is to look at our liner system. And we've got two components to this. One is the comfort liner, and that comes in two different thicknesses. We've got spare ones, plenty of spares available. So look, if yours is getting to the end of its life, or it's really thin or getting a bit ratty, then just order a new one and we'll send it out. And it's to change it's as easy as it's velcroed in. So it's just tearing off the Velcro. You'll see the Velcro tabs, and when you reinsert it all, it comes as three pieces, 1, 2, and 3. Just putting them back in, obviously the right way around. So that's part one of the liner system. The other one is the expanded polystyrene layer, and this essentially forms part of the actual helmet protection system, in that the outer shell is that sort of bump resistant or high impact abrasion resistance, and part of this expanded polystyrene foam liner is to actually do some of the shock absorption impact of an impact. So what that means is, if this is damaged, then the helmet won't do its job and it won't meet compliance. So if the outer shell, you've done your visual inspection, you're happy with that, and there's no nicks, gouges, like I said, or it hasn't been exposed to a significant impact or shock, then the next part is just to do a visual inspection of the polystyrene liner. And you want to look there for just obvious things. So it's no cracks. What we were seeing in the past was up the back here with the BOA retention system. If the cable ties weren't orientated correctly, you get some damage in and around here on the polystyrene shell. And that's actually rendered a couple of helmets US from not being from sort of damage to that area. So if you do find your cable ties aren't orientated and these ends aren't clipped or crimped correctly, then they're going to cut into this area and cause permanent damage, which is going to make the helmet not do its job. And what we're going to do now is just basically go around and give it a good clean. So that's what our terry wipe's here for. We've got that. We're going to run right around the helmet itself, give it a good clean, and Again, the pen as well is just to help get into all the various nooks and crannies. Now remember, you can pop these vent covers off. So popping these vent covers off, they're fairly hard to do with one hand, but two hands, and just ensuring, give this a good clean right through here. Also part of your visual inspection of the outer shell, check the actual vent cover itself. As this forms part of the compliance to meet our road crash rating. When you reinstall it, just ensure that it's orientated correctly. You'll see that there is actually a small little gap here, which allows airflow to go in. But on the top side, so any debris or anything that's coming from the top isn't going to go directly into those vent holes and onto your head. All right, so vent covers are done. Next is the visor. We're going to give that a visual inspection, and new ones that do come with a plastic film on them, so ensure that you remove that or it does make things look a little blurry. So you've got the visor itself, again, no obvious big scratches or deformation to it. Looking for these two lug nuts on the side, both one on each side, and then this little sort of locator down here with those holes already in the helmet visor as just sort of locators, and that sort of holds it in position. Please don't over tighten these. We had a few of them over tightened earlier on, and you are able to strip the plastic thread out of the visor from the metal bolt that's in the lug nut there. So no over tighten the visor. Give that a good clean. Then the final part of the helmet's really going to be the retention system, which, because these are personal issue, you probably find you're not adjusting them that often. But the BOA retention system, much like a pair of snowboard boots, you're going to just ensure that two things. So that's the helmet completed. Next, we move on to the comm system. So the comm system made up of obviously our dynamic boom mic, and the newer ones are now a flexi mic. It's still the same microphone inside, but that's that sort of high impedance reduces the wind noise. Need to have a sock over that. If you don't have one, let us know, order one. You've got little microphones down here on each of the ear cups, and those microphones form part of the noise attenuation system that the Peltors have inbuilt. And then obviously the two ear cups. Our ear cups are gel. We've gone for the gel ones, which give a better seal and therefore better hearing protection. But being gel, obviously, there's a possibility that you can get some damage to this outer coating and the gel will leak out. If you find that's the case, let us know. There's plenty in stock and we'll be able to get you out some. This one here actually looks a little bit flat, but it still looks all right. Still quite comfy on the head. And so we've gone through the dynamic boom mic, the gel cups, the microphones themselves, and essentially then it's just the battery pack. So these have a battery in them, one either side. Those batteries allow the noise attenuation system to operate. The device itself meets class 4 hearing protection in passive, as in off. And so basically there's no requirement to have the battery. However, you do get class 5A hearing protection with the noise attenuation system on. All right, so certainly have all the specs for that. If you have any questions, then please reach out and I'll send it to you. The final component of the comm system, I suppose, really is this lead that comes from the left ear cup and comes down to a NATO plug. You'll notice this plug itself, multiple channels, obviously. See that sort of yellowing or orange discoloration? That's just a bit of oxidation, and that's what our Scotch-Brite's for. So we can just give this plug a quick clean and it will come back to silver. So that's the fine. That's our sort of checks complete for helmet inspection, annual inspection. The only other components to look at are the eye protection and your Princeton Tech torch, which can either be fitted to the left or right side. Most people are opting for the right side. That's straightforward. It's a Princeton Tech torch on a flexi cord, obviously a single press for low green, double press for high green, press and hold for white light. Takes a single battery. When those get low, you get 20 hours of use out of those, 40 hours of use out of the peltors, but 20 hours of use out of the torch. And it's a little battery cover opener at the back. And dustproof, waterproof, IP64 rated. That's it for the Princeton Tech. And the goggles and eye protection. Again, just let us know if you're having any trouble with those. And that wraps up your annual inspection of the Wendy helmet or enhanced helicopter helmet. We've been through the helmet itself, the outer layer, the two liners, the comm system.
Now remember to check the connection on the dynamic boom mic, the little 2-pin connector. Sometimes they work free.
We've been through the accessories, and look, it's really just feel empowered to go through these checks yourself. Use the video, and if you have any questions or any parts that you find are damaged or missing, then speak to your SO as a first port of call. Any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks for your time. See ya.